These student loans, like the calls, are really making me regret ever going to college, considering I'm not even doing anything in my degree.
Okay, so I owe $303,000 for student loans. The average interest rate is 6%. Interest that had accrued before COVID was already $26,000.
I owe approximately $145,000 of student loan debt. Can I even afford my minimum monthly payments? Let's find out.
Real quick, guys, before we get into today's episode, I just want to let you know that we are this close to getting the channel monetized. We just need 1,000 subscribers to reach that goal. I think we're a little over 680 subscribers. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a couple giveaways on the channel for some gift cards, so definitely make sure to take a second and just subscribe to the channel down below. Otherwise, let's get right into it. So guys, the last episode that we made on the channel about college tuition was a huge success. We went over whether or not it was worth actually attending college and at what cost. And now I think a good sequel to that is for people that have already made the decision, graduated, or have at least went and attended college and now have a ton, and I mean a ton, of student loan debt. Lots to go over in today's episode. If you guys have student loans, let me know down in the comment section below how long it took you to pay them off and how much loans did you have. Let me know, as well as the interest rate, and let's get right into it.
Okay, so I owe $303,000 for student loans. The average interest rate is 6%. Interest that had accrued before COVID was already $26,000. So I'm gonna go through things that I could buy for $300K instead of student loans. Okay, I could buy this Maserati for $309,000.
Guys, that's not a listen, I'm a car person. I know I'm gonna get ridiculed for stopping the video before it gets finished, but that is a Lamborghini, not a Maserati. Just had to say that.
Pretty much breaking even. You could also get this Birkin bag. It's a little bit over at $325,000, but I could make it work. There's also this really intense shredder for $300K that you could be useful. You could also go on a yacht vacation for 2 weeks, coming in at roughly like 200K euro, and then I gotta tip the staff, you know. I could also live in Indiana and have a nice 3-bedroom home instead of paying my loans. It also now costs $300K to raise a kid, so should I just have one instead of two? And a rhino horn costs $300K, which apparently cures cancer, so now I'm really screwed.
I told you guys, this is going to be a tough episode to go through, and I am really interested in hearing your opinions as to how you paid for college. Did you take out loans? Federal, private, whatever other loans that are offered there? How did you pay them off? How much did you have? I'm really interested. I was fortunate, privileged, and blessed. I'm going to get this right out there before we go any further into the episode that my grandparents were able to pay for my college. Without them, it wouldn't have been possible, and I don't know if I would have attended myself because my grades were not 100%. C's get degrees, and that's okay. But with that being said, it was nowhere, even though my grandparents paid for college, it was nowhere. And I mean nowhere. $300,000 worth. I went to a SUNY school. There were cheaper options, obviously, if I commuted or went to a community college. So it was more expensive than other alternatives, but I can't even wrap my head around somebody going into that much debt, accruing that, and then not like realizing how far in they are. Like, that's insane. Unless you're a doctor, you got to understand, you do not go to become a doctor for the money. You go to help people. But I've seen people go for $300,000 in debt just because they went to like a private school for business, whatever. It's insane. $300,000 of debt is going to be such a financial anchor on your life. It's not even worth it. And it's tough because we let 18-year-olds make this decision of whether they want to start it or not, whether they want to go into college or not. You're giving somebody that can't have a beer make a decision on whether or not they should be taking out $300,000. Like, it's okay to take out $300,000 in student loans, but it's not okay to drink a beer. Like, things are backwards. If you're not like seeing things for how they actually are, the business behind it, I bet you if they were able to drop, you know, the rate to like 16-year-olds or 13-year-olds, oh, we would be throwing money at loans at 13-year-old kids to make that decision if we could get away with it. I am sure. It is incredible how crazy this student loan epidemic is getting.
Fia, I'm 17 and I'm a human biology major.
Is 17 a normal age to be in college?
I think so, yeah. I just have a late birthday. It's in September, so it's a little late.
And how'd you choose your major?
I've kind of...
All right, sorry again for interrupting, but she's 17. Like, can she even take out, and this is a question, can she even take out loans at 17, or does she have to have her parents co-sign on them, because I was thinking, I forgot that, I went in at 18 years old. I could make those decisions. I could sign up for those loans. But at 17, I don't even think she can do it. So there's got to be some other factor with her parents' influence or something to even obtain those loans. So I'm told, because if you can get that much, get the ball rolling at 17, that's insane. 300K is such a financial weight. I don't know how you ever get out of that. And you die with loans. Literally, you cannot declare bankruptcy with student loans. That's how bad it has gotten. Probably one of the worst possible loans you could take because of that. But also, it's lightly coded with this, it's an investment in yourself because it's education. It's a tough decision.
Always known I wanted to do something in the health field, so I thought that biology was kind of the best way to just further that, I guess.
Okay. And what's your plans for after college? What do you want to do?
I want to go to PA school and be a PA. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know how much money you can make as a PA?
I think it's set around 130K, something like that.
And this is something that you want to do, or is it your parents that?
Yeah, this is something I want to do. Yeah, for sure.
Do you have any student loans, or are you going to get any student loans?
I think I'm definitely going to get student loans. Right now, I haven't figured it all out because I just got here, but I think I'm definitely going to.
Okay. Are you scared to pay off those loans?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I feel like everyone is a little scared, right?
What are you going to do to save money and be frugal?
Well, I mean, I've had a job since I was 14 and I've been saving for a while, so I feel like I have pretty good saving habits, but I'm not too sure, honestly. I'm going to have to figure it out.
Right. This is a prime example of somebody that doesn't know, that isn't financially educated. I mean, I get it. I, applaud the nice effort for saving since you were 14, but people don't understand the harsh reality of, saving when you're a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 18-year-old with no other responsibilities and your parents paying for everything. And after college, when you want to get out of the nest and grow, and you have 150K hanging over your head in loans, you're basically taking all your money and throwing it out the window. It's going to take you forever to pay those off, and you're not going to be able to get ahead if you make that decision. And we're letting somebody that's 17 make that decision. It's so hard to wrap my head around it. I mean, here's another great example too. I had to mute the sound for copyright here, but you're gonna be drowning in $130,000 of student loans, crying on social media for publicity, monetization, whatever it is, whatever agenda he's pushing here. I get it. Let's see what it is. And there it is. Now I teach financial literacy so kids don't go through what I did. Makes sense. I get it. I support it. And that's pretty much key here. You need to be financially literate, especially if you're going to have the decision right after high school to make a six-figure, possibly, or even $30,000, $20,000 decision with zero financial education because high school and middle school never taught you it. How could you make a decision like that? It's so silly and so ridiculous to me.
Approximately $145,000 of student loan debt.
Let's take a little more of that and $145,000.
Can I even afford my minimum monthly payments? Let's find out. I have 3 types of student loans. I have 2 federal student loans and 1 private student loan. For my federal loans, my first one has a monthly payment of $399 and $37 a month. The second loan is $693.93 a month. And for my private student loan, my monthly payment is $642.33. In total, I owe monthly my minimum payment of $1,735.63. That is a crazy amount of money. Do I even make enough money to afford this? For my average, I'm averaging my take home. This isn't my gross income. So this is the average I make approximately per month for my take home.
All right, this is a long one though, but you guys need to understand. It's not only is that insane, $1,700 a month. That literally is taking you out at the kneecaps, not being able to get ahead in life. Because that's more than like some people's mortgage payments. $1,700 a month. You don't understand. Your income is your number one tool towards growth and having financial freedom and financial success. And to lock it up, because these are minimum payments. So she's not even working towards principal. Maybe 5% goes to that. The rest is interest. it's going to take her the rest of her life to pay this off. And she made the decision when she was younger. Most likely, majority of people will make this decision when she is younger, and you will be throwing away so much opportunity moving forward. But it's part of the system. You're not supposed to be wealthy. You're not supposed to be financially educated. Otherwise, plain and simple, it would have been taught to you in the school system, but it is not. And there's reason for it. Don't think they didn't think about it. Obviously they did, but geez, it is so bad what we're seeing.
I have 3 jobs. I have a full-time job and I'm a home infusion nurse, and I also work as a per diem hospice nurse, and I also make additional money on TikTok. So in total, I make approximately an average take home of $8,180.66.
What loans did she need? That a total $140,000 in debt. Did she need any of that for the careers that she's going on now? I mean, she even needs to do TikTok videos to pay off this debt. So by the time she can even break even and get ahead, it might be 15 years down the road. Insane.
Cents. So my student loans is about 21% of my monthly payments, and this also does not take into account like my monthly mortgage, other like monthly payments that I have for bills and utilities and all of that stuff.
This is exactly what I'm saying. Unless you're going to live at home, and I'm not trying to scare some people that have these loans that it's over if you have them, because there's definitely ways you can pay this off here. But my point is, when you graduate college, most people don't want to just sit at home and stay at home and pay off loans. No, especially when your friends and everybody else is moving forward in life, having kids, getting a house, getting an apartment, I don't know, getting a car, wanting to have a family. They pile up, and to have a $1,700 anchor, as a minimum in your budget that gets sucked right out of your paycheck, theoretically, you get your paycheck, then you have to pay your loans at the end of the month. You're not left with any money, and it's going to be exponentially harder to get ahead. Really, and we talked about this in the other video about college tuition, ways to afford college. It's not having loans, because these loans are a money grab. It is a big money business capitalizing off of your poor decision. That's the whole point of it here. There are ways to save and get ahead. There are smarter ways to go into college, grants, financial aid, scholarships, commuting to campus, going to a community college and then transferring to a state school. Tons of other reasons. And also, you need to know what your degree is in. Lots of people go to college, they don't even get a good degree. It's a waste, useless degree. They don't even use it. And then they end up getting screwed and now have a huge anchor of debt that they have to pay off.
How much does your family make? Like $80,000 a year. So you're rich? No, I have 3 siblings. Did they go to college? Not yet. Then you're rich. No, I'm not. Loan denied. What? Okay, we'll loan you some money. Thank you. But if you don't pay it off while you're still in college... Huh? You're done for. You're evil. Okay, so 15% interest on the loans. That's cruel. Every day. No! This whole process is gonna take hours. Okay, but it'll be worth it in the end. Why are you laughing? This is a game to you.
I don't know if y'all...
That's the point. I mean, and who knows? It could also, I feel like a lot of that has to do with applying for certain low-income possible grants or scholarships that are offered, that if you make a certain amount, they think you're rich. Your parents could be making $80K a year. You're rich. Can't afford it. That's a whole other topic for discussion. I agree. Everybody should have a chance at going to college, bettering their education. But there's pros and cons, and things get taken away from others. And there's no way to do it fairly, in my opinion here. So it's tough. It really is a tough decision. And you can see people are even making fun of the fact of how difficult it is. And then they're laughing at the fact of how long it could possibly take you to pay this off. He's basically saying you take these loans out and you don't pay them off while they're deferred in interest while you go to school. When you start accruing interest on it, you're done for. 15%, which is an exaggeration unless some people took out private loans at that. But even at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7% interest, if you don't pay them off while they're deferred to get ahead of the payments while you don't have to pay interest, you're screwed. Once they start accruing interest, it is exponentially harder to get ahead, and you are going to be paying so much compound interest on money that's not yours, versus having compound interest work for you in investments, in index funds, mutual funds, investing in the stock market in a sense, or even in real estate, just having passive income with compounding interest working for you. That's how you get ahead. You want compound interest on your side. If it's working against you, you are in for a rude awakening, my friend.
But the Supreme Court has decided to shut down student debt relief. Yesterday, they overturned affirmative action in higher education. Today, they just decided that there will be no student debt relief. So I want to know how we're moving. We can sit here, we could talk about it all day. We can be sad. We can do all that, and you are entitled to doing that. What I need to know is how we're going to do this. Are we not paying? And I'm not this is not a joking play type of situation. Are we not paying collectively as a whole? Meaning if you put a payment down, you're crossing the line. How are we going to move? Because they can't keep getting away with this stuff. At the end of the day, if we don't pay, they are the ones who are going to suffer, not us. I'm so frustrated with the way that this country is running right now. And this is happening, mind you, while we have a Democratic president who could easily just eliminate all of the debt, mind you. Not easily, but he could do that. How are we moving? Let me know.
Of the number
He just said, we can make them suffer, not us. Do you realize you're one or even multiple people having this problem? And it's also a federal thing. If you're paying for government aid, it's government aid that they gave you, government loans. It's on a federal level and not just private that you'd be screwed over, but it will destroy you. It's crazy that some people, just don't want to take accountability for their actions. And I also agree to an extent, though, that you're 18 being held accountable for those actions. And we both know you can't even drink a beer. Why should you be held responsible for $300,000 in debt that you got socially peer pressured into doing? Because keep in mind, everybody in high school is pressuring you to go to college. The high school throws it on, your guidance counselor throws it on that says, you're not going to college. I remember my guidance counselor in high school. You're not going to college, dude? Oh, you're questioning going to college? You want to be a bum, a homeless dude making no money at home like a loser? That's what it is if you don't go to college. So there's so much social pressure, then pressure from your parents, pressure from your friends, pressure from your grandparents to tell you to make this decision without any financial education. And then you get screwed. So, it's a devil's advocate. We're playing both possibilities here. I get that it's hard to have that accountability, but at the same time, you did it. It is your choice and you made the decision, and now you don't want to be held accountable for it. It's tough. And the fact that I'm telling you, nothing good is, you're not going to win. I hope, if everybody's debt can go away, if it gets paid off, loan forgiveness, that's amazing. It's great. I would never be upset about it because why not? It's free. It helps you out. It's helping somebody. I get it. But at the same time, taxpayers, the middle class, are going to pay for it because it's funded with taxes. And two, the likelihood you're gambling on you, because if you stop paying, you are going to screw yourself in payments. They're going to come after you. They're going to make it a nightmare. And at the same time, you're just hoping by having a collective group of people on TikTok or whoever rioting against and protesting against not paying it, you're only hurting yourself in the long run. The government does not give a shit about you, 100, 200, even 300,000 people. They don't care. 1 million people. They don't care. They're going to get their money one way or another. So take accountability and just pay it off as hard as you can. You made the decision at the end of the day.
people that start college, how many graduate? 52%. That's an investment in my future. Said the other 48% that are sitting at home with no freaking degree, but by God, they got the student loan debt. And you know how you get rid of Sally Mae? You either pay her off in full or you die. That's the only way that woman goes away. It's not bankruptable. It is not an investment in yourself to borrow, even if it is an investment. We don't borrow money for investments. The borrower is slave to the lender. That's what this math says. When you give up your income, when you give your income away, you have nothing.
If you're thinking about paying all...
And that's the harsh reality of it. You know, Dave couldn't have said it any better. It's the truth, and it's the harsh reality that some people have to swallow. It's a big pill to swallow, but there's so many problems with it. The fact that you don't borrow for investments. And if we teach that rule, that financial education, it would make the decisions a bit easier. And people wouldn't be 30, 35, 40, 50, 60 still paying off student loans, not being able to get as far ahead as they could have if they decided not to take out these loans. And he just said, sometimes a lot of these people, 40% of them went to college, dropped out, and are carrying loans with them. And they didn't even get the investment. The investment failed, and now they're just carrying 40 grand or 30 grand worth of student loans that they didn't even get to take advantage of. Horrible, horrible. And he is saying these loans, the debt that you have to pay, a bill that you have to pay, is slave to the lender. It's a parasite to your income. It's that simple. It is a parasite that gets sucked out every month, whether you like it or not. Just like car loans, just like student loans, just like personal loans, just like mortgage payments. There are exceptions. I understand if you listen to Dave, there are exceptions to those loans because you got to have a roof over your head. But you want to minimize it as best as you can and start stacking up income, cash, or start stacking up money to go towards investments to have compound interest working for you. It works against you incredibly well. You might as well figure out a way to get it to work for you. Anywho, moving off from that, here's another crazy video, and this just tells you do not listen to the advice that people give you online. I know I'm hypocritical because I'm kind of talking about it myself, but this makes my blood boil. It is horrible advice about finance. Do not listen to a word she says. I have to put that out as a disclaimer. We'll talk about it after the video.
Paying all of your student loans off, maybe just like hold off for 2 seconds. This year, I paid off all of my student loans. Yay, right? You would think. But no, like even when you think you're doing everything right, somehow in this financial system, it bites you in the butt. Okay, let me just explain to you what happened. When you take out student loans, you start developing credit. At some point, someone is going to ask you what your credit score is, whether you're trying to take out a loan to buy a house or whether you're trying to get approved for an apartment, take out a loan on a car, etc. So anyways, fast forward, I'm like $30,000 in debt. I decide, you know what? I'm gonna work my butt off to pay off all of those loans. And this year I paid them all off. Now, logically in your brain, you'd be like, she paid off all of her debt. Her credit score is gonna skyrocket, right? No, it tanked. Now, why? This is why I get so frustrated. Part of your credit score establishes credit history. So my student loans were my oldest account, but I just closed that account. So now I don't have 8 years of credit history, maybe I have 7. And what they say online is they want to say like, oh, we just want to see that you're a responsible borrower and that you can return money on time. And so we don't want you to make a big payment all at once, because that shows that we can't expect how you're going to return our money, right? The reason why they don't want you to pay that back all at once is because they earn interest while you're in debt. So you'd think, congratulations, you just paid off all your student loans. Your credit score should go up. They're like, no, we're losing out on money because you're no longer in debt. So anyways, if I could go back and do it all differently, maybe I would go and pay like almost all of it, except for $1. Just let that sit there. Disclaimer, that's not actually the solution. At some point, you're gonna have to close that account, but man, the system sucks.
All right, valid points. I have up the credit score chart that we're going to discuss and go over here. First off, terrible advice, but she is right about one thing, though. They penalize you for paying it off. Why? Because A, it lowers your length of credit that you've had, and also they lose out on money. At the end of the day, if they keep that loan open, they earn more interest off of you, which at the end of the day, that's the whole goal. That's what makes the world go round, is getting money and making money. So it makes sense. But she is indeed wrong. And A, why have it, for $1, that's kind of silly talk. It's ridiculous. It's not entirely correct. Just rip the Band-Aid off, pay it all off. I'll give you examples. A, I haven't had any loans, but if I did, I would pay them off immediately. I'm only 26. I've had a credit card since I was 18. So in a sense, I have had loans, small ones in that sense here, that I pay off every month in full all the time. My credit score is well over 800. I believe last time I checked, it was like 811 at 26. I am an excellent borrower. Guess what? I pay everything off on time. That would go against what she says. Slightly. She's saying her credit score dipped. I've bought cards from my other channel on my Amex, on my American Express, and I do take a hit because it's weird. The amount that I've borrowed goes up, even though I pay it all off in time. My credit score does dip, but a month or two later, it goes right back to where it started, if not even higher. So don't listen to her when she's saying, don't pay off your loans. Hold on to them. No, pay them off. It is okay if your credit score goes down a little. The only time you'll ever use it is, yes, for the most part, for loans towards rent or for a mortgage. Those are probably the only 2 instances you'll ever see me use my credit score. My credit score is good. You need to understand, and we're going to have to make a video on this later, the length of term, the length of time your credit, and I've had my friends ask me this so many times. I've gotten into so many debates with people, and I have my friends calling me, should I pay off my car? No, I'm going to keep my car payment going longer because it'll hurt my credit score. No, look at the graph. The length of credit only makes up 15% of your overall credit score. If you pay off your payments on time, it makes up 35%. If you only use less than 30% of credit utilization, it makes up 30%. Having a mix of credit, 10% here. Accumulation of debt, 10%. Notice the amount of that actually makes up by paying off your loan all at once is only 15. It's minuscule. That is literally 15%. There is 85% working for you. And on top of that, if you do pay it off, you will only see a temporary short-term hit on your credit, and your credit 100%, if everything else is good, will bounce back up almost immediately after. Maybe a month, maybe 2, maybe 3, but it'll go back like no problem. Do not listen to her and drag out these loans and just destroy your financial success. No, pay off all your debt as quickly as possible. That is the best way, smartest way, if you can do it correctly and you can do it responsibly, paying off your debt so that you're not living in the street. That is the best way to build your credit. Get everything off. Have a couple. I don't even use much of my credit cards either. Most of them are just, I have one recurring bill that I, keep on, that I pay for my business, and that's it. The rest of it, I don't use them. I just use one credit card and one debit card, and that's it. And that's okay. And I have an 810 credit score. So who are you going to listen to? I wouldn't go that route. Please do not go that route.
These student loans, like the calls, are really making me regret ever going to college, considering I'm not even doing anything in my degree. But like, these calls are just a reminder that I'm like, first of all, doing nothing with my life. Second of all, broke as shit. And yes, I hee hee ha ha about it here, but like, it's literally not a joke. It's like embarrassing, and it's like the most stressful thing. And I never want to be the person that's like driven by money. Like, that's not me, but like sometimes I wish I was, so I wouldn't be in the position I'm in. And like, dealing with these calls and having to basically say my situation, like, I literally cannot pay off an amount on these damn student loans. And then the fact that they're so relentless, they call every person in my family, they call people not related to me but like associated with me, and I don't even know how they, it's just crazy. And it's like, I hate it. It's like, you're coming at me for my own little debt when this country's in debt. Like, it's so frustrating, and it gets me so angry. And literally, it's like, I avoid these calls at all times. They send me into full-on panic attacks. But then sometimes I just have to make the call because they're calling everyone else in my life. And it's so frustrating. And yes, maybe I did it to myself. Maybe I should be smarter about money. Maybe I should just take on any job that like will pay me, and I'm luckily finally starting a job, but it's not what I want to be doing. Not using my degree. It's another serving job. It's fucking working at Hooters at 28 years old, living back at home. It's like, and then it's moments like these that make me question whether anything I want to do in life is going to happen, like at this stage, because it's so annoying. And I just had to vent because fuck it all.
Well, there's a lot to definitely divulge and go into on this conversation. Lots of points. I'll probably forget most of them, but I will try and do my best. For starters, she says, is it my fault? I don't know. But then she brought up that she has refused jobs because it wasn't within her degree. And it's like, no, you have the obligation to pay off this debt. It doesn't matter where you work or how you work or how long you work. You're gonna have to bust your butt. You're gonna have to grind extra, work 2 jobs, work 3 jobs. They might not be in your degree. You're still gonna have to work them and pay them off. So she's like, and now if she's watching this, I feel bad, and maybe you did hit the bottom, but it's only up from here. And her situation should, if she puts in effort, will get better. But at the same time too, it sounds like she's just been holding out because she is, goody two shoes, feels good. I'm not going to work a job that's out of my degree. I'm not going to do that. Well, then this is the harsh reality of it. And it's unfortunate that most people don't realize the consequences of not paying your bills. They don't teach this. Literally, financial education in the system is gone. It's so broken. I didn't even know that there was debt collectors and collections agencies until I was much older, after playing around with money, stuff like that. I actually really learned about it when I ended up with debt collectors and in a collection agency. It happens. It was a mistake. It's paid off. It's fixed. We'll save it for another story. We don't have time now. But I learned a lot, and it sucks. They call you every single day like clockwork. They send letters in your mail. They'll send letters to your old residence residency. They'll send letters to your family, call your family, friends, whatever it is to get your money. I don't know how it is with certain loans. I don't know if the federal loans do that. I've never had the experience, but with private loans, I am sure they want their money and they're going to get it one way or another here. And it's a harsh reality because it sounds like she just doesn't want to work. She has to only work if she gets what's in her degree. But, you know, at the end of the day, you're going to have to work at that pizza shop and serve, you know, be a waitress all at the same time. And while you do that, as you're paying off your loans, you also have to be looking for jobs within your degree. It's tough. It's harsh, but she's learning it the hard way, that life's not fair, or, you know, you are going to be held accountable for your actions and you're going to have to do things you don't want to do. That's life. And then now it seems like she's having a reality check at 28, but there's some people that don't get this harsh reality check until they're much later and in much worse condition, 35, 45, 55 years old, and then they start freaking out. So she's in a good place. She's not too old yet to get this all squared away and sorted out. I feel bad, but I mean, what can you do?
70% of the Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That's stupid, because you're living in one of the wealthiest countries the world has ever known, and there you sit like a rat in a wheel. Run, 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 run. Why? Because student loans are an investment and I'm going to Best Buy. This is just stupid. It's stupid on steroids. Really, seriously, you've got to stop and think.
And that's pretty much the end of today's video, but I wanted to end with the end of Dave Ramsey because I just think his messages are powerful. It helped me learn. I looked up to him to learn, and hopefully other people can find his information valuable. But basically, his message moving forward is your income is your number one tool, the number one tool towards moving towards financial freedom. And you can't do that if every step, every paycheck gets siphoned out by some parasitic loan. You have to pay student loan debts. You have to pay freaking personal debts. You have to pay credit card debts. You have to pay car loan. You have to pay, I don't know, an ATV loan. You got to pay all these other loans and bills and yada, yada, yada. Bills to a certain extent. People have bills, but debt and loans are held over your head. It is horrible. Once you can reduce the amount, those biggest burdens towards those loans, towards your actual income, it makes it that much easier, and it almost snowballs. Then you can put more and more and more money away towards investments. So then those investments can start working towards you, and it just compounds and it grows for you, and it can help you grow even further. I'm just passionate about this topic, about finance, about helping people. You know, he's talking about it. It's a rat race. If you stick with it and you stay in it, and you know, you're blindsided and you're only like this and you never open your eyes and look at their harsh reality, it's not the right way. They don't teach it. You're going to have to go off on your own path, and you will learn so much. So hopefully these videos are helpful. Let me know down in the comments section below. If you haven't, and this is your first time or first introduction to the channel, or if you've watched these videos before, but you haven't seen the college tuition video, this is pretty much a sequel to that. So I highly recommend you check that out. I'll post that video here, or you can wait till the end of the episode. But guys, make sure to smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.